Hey guys, here's the gear for today. The new entry into my world is this timeless titanium. This is the 68 gap. I just featured it as a part of the mail call video I just pushed out. You'll probably see this video a day or two after that is released, because the way I like to publish things, it gives me some time to write and construct instead of feeling so pressured. We will continue to use the Nacet blade, and today is use number 375. How about that? And Barrister and Mann, the full measure of Mann, tobacco scent that I just find perfect. Just about the best tobacco scent that I know of. It really is. Try it with the Zenith Extra Soft Horse Brush. If you want to know the exact number nomenclature for it, I believe it's 507 something or other XS, but that information is in the video description down below. I am looking at about a 24-hour shave, so kind of normal growth. And here, after this shave is done, we'll put a dot there at the 305 counter. Now, one of the problems of doing a marathon is, with this blade, is that when I get a new razor in, you want to try it on a more fresh blade, because that's the normal scenario. But I'm going to keep going with the Nacet. After all, this will tell me whether this timeless titanium is a good razor to use for the Nacet at this stage. I still didn't manage to buy an engraver today, so you can just see the dot that's there. You can also see the bend in the blade that kind of has been there for a long time. The titanium, this is my first titanium razor. I'm loving the weight of it, nice and strong, and yeah, this is a bulky handle, and so it's not too light. It's not aluminum light, you know what I mean? This is a slimmer profile head than Timeless's normal profile. Timeless's stainless is taller, I think, and so I am curious what kind of shave it's going to give me. Definitely has a positive exposure. It's a quality made piece, that's for sure. Nice balance. This little waist right here is the perfect place for me to put my kind of support finger. I've got my 40 milliliters of water that we'll subtract from as we go. And this stuff, it just speaks to me so much of a pipe shop with deep wood and leather accoutrements, you know, that sort of thing, or just wonderful. I chose Barrister and Mann because during the Lather games in a few days, the month of June is the Lather games, and I participate in that. And one of the challenges I like to do is to use a different soap maker every day, which is cool. But it means that wonderful soap makers like Barrister and Mann and Stirling that have some different scents that I just really like to turn to, I can only use once in the whole month. And so then I decided to use Barrister and Mann today, before that month starts, because I can. All right, get my face wet now. I don't know what to expect from the Timeless, so that'll be fun. Shake most of the water here out of the horse brush. It doesn't hold a ton of it at this point. This is maybe my 4th or 5th shave with it. It just has just a tiny bit of prickle, at least previously to this. What should we load? Let's do 20 seconds. So we'll go from 55 to 15. horse is interesting. It's a little floppier than the boar, but it's scritchier than the badger. And of course it is, you don't have to kill the animal to extract the hairs. So it has that benefit as well. 3D lather bowl from Roger Quintero, designed by him. And this one was actually made by him and sent to me. Very kind of him to do that. That's good. So in my mail call video, Refined Edge was very kind to send me 2 soap samples and a decant of Admiral, the cologne made by Declaration Grooming. I love that scent. The smokiness just makes the whole scent for me. It ties it all together. It makes it interesting. Just such a huge fan. And then he sent me a couple of 2 soaps that I had actually never tried that brand at all. First Line Shave, and then FCS. Can't remember what they stand for. And then in the mail call video, I had something else on my brain. I kept calling him Refined Shave instead of Refined Edge, so sorry, man. But he was very generous and had sent me that stuff to try out. I used Admiral online recently here, and obviously I fawned all over it because I'm just, I love it. And he jumped online and said he would send me a little bit of it, and I'm very grateful. See, there's a, the website that maybe even I bought this brush from. It's called, I think, Your Shaving or Your Shave. Then there's another website that I've been looking at called The Gentle Shave. And so I think I had those sites on my brain. I think I should have loaded for a little bit longer than 20 seconds. This will probably be enough. Lather. But I would feel a little better if there were some more. Can always go back to the puck and get some more if I need to. This brush is already starting out to be pretty soft. I can see why it would be called extra soft. I understand other horse brushes can be quite prickly for a while till they break in, which may take a good bit of time. That's pretty wet. I don't think I want to take this base any wetter than that. So you know what, let's do. I'm going to kind of rake some of the lather out of the brush. I'm going to get the tub again. I'm going to go back for 10 more seconds. I'm also going to put a little bit, because my brush would kind of normally have a little bit of water in it when I come to load. And so I will add that water here because it's not in here anymore. All right, another 10 seconds. So we'll start at 37 and go to 47. And there we go. take some of this side lather. Enjoy the scent a little closer to me. Rinse off the side of the tub. I resisted buying titanium razors for quite a while. First being because they are expensive. But if you integrate this new soap here, but if you find a good deal on one used, then that makes it a different story, right? That's what I did. And the timeless stainless that I enjoy is kind of heavy. I thought, what if I like the titanium so much that I wouldn't mind trading? So then I could offset my cost with the price of the stainless that I might sell. And then the wonderful geometry of the timeless I might be able to have, but without that weight. I'll have the strength. It's not like I need the strength of the titanium. I just like the weight of the titanium. It's really kind of a bulky razor when it's in stainless steel form. So I thought I'd try the titanium. And the great thing about buying it on the used market, when it comes time to sell it on the used market, as long as you weren't stupid and bought too high, often you can sell it for basically what you got for it, minus the kind of shipping. So yeah, it looks like I fixed the lather here. More plentiful now. And this is very hydrated. I might still go back and get a little bit more soap from the puck if this feels too wet. All right. I did not need to comb out my horse brush yet. I went ahead and combed it out with a pick, but I didn't feel any tangles at all. And I've been using it just like a badger. I haven't been treating it specially. Some people, I think, get horse brushes and then they only use painting motions and they don't scrub and do circles because of the tangle propensity. But I think this brush might be specially geared to try to address those concerns. Face wet. All right. Yeah, see, this is, I mean, it just has a tiny bit of prickle. Not very much. If I were using, and I believe I've said this before about this brush, if I did happen to be using a razor that was a little bit too aggressive for me, prone to maybe give me a little bit of tenderness, then I believe this would not be the brush to use because of that little bit of prickle. Now it is starting to feel as the prickle builds up, and I hit it a few different places. It is starting to get a little more dominant. This is a very wet, hydrated lather. As you could see, I had to keep going back and dipping into it. And look at how wet that is coming out. You know what we'll do? Let's go back here for a few seconds and grab up some soap. Kind of thicken up this lather a little bit before it flies off. Yeah, there we go. It's better. I think this brush just holds water at the root more, perhaps. Maybe that'll change as it breaks in more. Very good. Hand got kind of messy on that one. Take away lather from the areas I don't want to shave, so I don't over shave, cross those boundaries into softer skin. I'm going to do a with the grain pass, then probably 2 cross grain, and then we'll evaluate. A little tuggy, but not painful. I debated about which base plate to use. Sometimes the Nacet likes more aggressive base plates. But I thought to myself, since lately the Nacet is asking me, kind of needing me to do an against the grain pass to get this section right here, the better razor to do that is probably going to not be the 95 but the 68. So that's why I picked it today. And there we go. Little tuggy, but not too bad. All right, took off a little bit of stubble there, not a lot, but a little bit. So now we're going to switch to cross grain. Since this lather is a little on the wet side, I did dab my face with a towel, remove excess water after the rinse. Cross grain now. Yeah, the weight here is enjoyable. It feels like a small, nimble razor. And the stainless version does not. However, one thing that the heavier razors bring to the table, and this is a pretty comfy pass here, the heavy razors bring inertia. And so as you're moving the blade along your skin, the extra weight there does some smoothing of the experience. You don't have to pull the razor through the hair as much because the razor, the momentum there is pushing it through with you. And so it has a smoother feel to it. All right. Rinse. A good amount of beard reduction there. You could definitely tell as I felt it during the rinse, and judging from how much lather is in the bowl, I'm very glad that I went back for more soap. So what I say, a 20-second lather, and then I did 10 more seconds. So a 30-second lather, and then I did maybe another 3 seconds just to get more soap. So about a 33-second lather load time. feels so nimble. I think I really am going to enjoy using this razor on after the lather games when I'm able to play around with other blades. As with the stainless timeless, it is easy, pretty intuitive to find the blade angle, it seems. Lifting the chin up to tighten that skin. Very comfortable pass. Now we'll do cross grain from the other direction in preparation for that against the grain pass that is probably going to be necessary. Man, what a great lather. You can just feel the slickness and kind of the nourishment on your skin. And when I said great lather, I meant great soap base. I mean, this lather did happen to be very nice, but I was mainly praising the soap base there. It almost doesn't need that against the grain pass. All right, I believe the cheeks are nice. The cheeks are done properly. I was talking with somebody online today, and he let me know that he had purchased 100 Nacets and got them in. I'd like to comment on a video, a recent one, and I remember him talking about that and saying he was going to order those. And one of the things that he said was that he has had a chance to try a few now, and the Nacet is similar in sharpness to the Feather for him, but it's more comfortable and lasts longer. And how great is that? That's terrific. So I'm glad that that worked out. It wasn't a guarantee that the Nacet is going to work as well for him as it does for me, but I'm really glad it worked out. Well, let's not dilly-dally around the tough thing. Let's go ahead and do that against the grain pass over here in my trouble zone. Pretty tuggy. Man, I can't wait till I have a nice fresh blade in this razor. I think it's really gonna be a fun experience. And I don't really guess I need to worry too much about over here. Let's just kind of touch up. And yeah, see the residual slickness on this soap is just so nice. There's just not really any danger of me over shaving right there. Yeah, we got a nice smooth cut. I see the length on just a few tips, but that's really good. Right now, face feels good. Nice close shave. And that was just 3.5 passes. Pretty good for this old blade. So in general, it seems like this might be a good base plate to use with such an old blade. And you never know how it's going to turn because it's all about geometry. And as the edge wears down, you know, what razors put it in its best light, that sort of thing. And then you've got the added variable of the against the grain pass at the end, because the blade is dulled enough to where I'm having to do that once I hit 370. It seems to be mandatory at this point. And I may find, but this one actually did the best job and the most comfortable job if I were to avoid that against the grain pass. It's possible this razor could still give me a decent shave. Let's use up some Executive Man from Stirling, a balm I've had for a while. Don't want it to go bad on me. Hey, we're getting close to the end. It's kind of got to do the gravity thing to sling it down. Stirling sometimes, if you, oh, I think I got to the end. I did. I emptied it. This is my first Stirling balm. It was used. I purchased a group of products, a lot, and this was in it. It was used. So I didn't drain the whole thing myself. I didn't kill it all by myself, but this is my first time, and I would not have a problem at all ordering this scent again, but I do have so many that I want to work through that I'll just wait. It is a wonderful scent. I mean, still, it's Aventus from Creed. I'm not feeling irritation on my skin, so the balm is going to help, but it's not really needed right now in a medicinal role. How about that? Finished one. I've got another one that I'm going to work on next, I guess. Got the Dunshire up there, and that one's patterned after Acquadigio from Armani, but the scent is so weak on it, I'm afraid, that it's just lightly pleasant smelling. It's not really got too much character, but sometimes that doesn't bother me because most of the time I'm shaving at night, about to go to bed anyway. How much water did we use up? A good bit. Wow. 30 milliliters, which is 6 teaspoons. It's a good bit. I pushed quite a bit of water. That's why it was so wet, right? That's why it needed to be supplemented with a little bit more soap. I pushed that much water into it, but this is a lather that is, I believe this is the soft heart, the modified soft heart, I think. Is it going to tell me? I think this one is the modified soft heart. I don't think it's Excelsior, but I could be wrong. If you look at the, I think the description on in the video should tell you which base this is. Man, oh, what a good scent! Holy cow! This is kind of like Admiral. I tend to get very involved in this scent, and I just appreciate it so much, and it impacts me, and I just have to kind of go on about it because it hits me in the right places. So the Timeless, man, I'm looking forward to kicking that around with the younger blade. It handled the Nacet reasonably well. The against the grain stroke was pretty tuggy, but it's one of those things you get through. And because of that, I may not use the Nacet in the Timeless for a while because maybe it's just not built for it. The 95. Could the 95 have a different feel to it? It might work better. Might try it. However, one thing I might try again is using the Timeless and just not doing the against the grain pass. Just seeing how close I can get. Maybe instead of that half pass at the 4th pass level, do another cross grain pass, just hitting it a bunch of times. Just stay away from the against the grain, so I could try that. Well, the horse brush did well. I don't think it caused any irritation. I don't think it made any irritation worse or anything like that. Face very comfortable right now. I do feel a tiny bit of tenderness in this area here, but it just seems like the kind of thing that's going to go away even before this video is done. So 30 milliliters, and enjoying the scents here. I think it's time to put stuff away. This is what the brush looks like after today's shave. And this is a mixture of the mane and the tail hairs, and it's got a little bit more of a focus on the softer hairs. I assume those would come from the mane, but I don't know enough about it. And so that's why they call it the extra soft. It feels pretty soft when it's dry, unlike the boar brushes do, and kind of more like the badgers do. You can feel them when they're dry, and they don't feel like a broom like the boars do. But they do absorb water like the boars. And I do plan on every once in a while rolling a little comb through them, and if I ever pick up any tangles, I'll make a note of it, but I haven't yet. Simple as that. I'm enjoying watching and very curious about what happens with this guy. And now we have put the 375th dot. The first 300 dots are on the blade wrapper that I usually show in the preview video, the preview thumbnail image. And then anything above 300 counts right here. I ran out of space on the wrapper. Sharpie. Well, this here is a beautiful razor. And today's use is not going to be a good evaluation, a good first impression of how it's going to normally work, since we are using such a smoothed out blade. But it showed me how it's going to hold the Nacet. If this would have shown, then I would have known maybe after June is done and I want to resume the journey with the Nacet, I would have known if this one might have been a good razor to do that. A reminder, it looks like that maybe about 8 days before the end of June, 7 or 8 days, that's when I'll hit 400 with the Nacet. Pretty cool. Had no idea it was going to go that far. And so I will be continuing on after. So then 408 or 407 would be the number right at the end of the Lather games, and I'll just keep on going. 426 is the high number recently set by Myrna183 over on Reddit. He kept going with his Gillette Silver Blue and was able to reach 426 before he stopped. He said the last 10 shaves were quite uncomfortable, but he didn't bend the blade. He's he could potentially start up again. So we'll go to at least 426 and see what that journey, if we can, and see what that journey means. I haven't flipped my Nacet blade over. I've always been using it on one side, except for one where I made a mistake and put it in wrong. And so I do expect to get another boost of time of uses with it when I flip it over. So it's kind of a scientific test. He palm stropped or maybe stropped on something else, but he stropped his blade after every use to kind of keep that edge kind of smooth and honed, touched up, not too rough. And I thought that was great that he did that with his. He flipped his in different ways, kind of randomly or whatever. Whereas I'm not flipping mine. I'm also not stropping mine in any way. And I think it's great to have different avenues there. And I'll be able to say, guys, just work on your technique and and some other things. SugarDaddyShaves.com has a Marathon Secrets page if you're curious why I'm able to get so many uses. Those are the best answers I can give. There's some pretty good, strong advice there, as well as just some guesses. That anyway, I hope some of it's of help to you guys who want to improve your technique and get those blades to last a long time if you want to do that. Enjoying the shave today. Enjoyed the scents. Face feels good. Smells good. And I think we're done. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I hope there was something in this video to help you out in your shaving journey. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.